Hello, it's 7:30, October 7th, 2020, and welcome to the weather update. That you see there is Hurricane Delta, and we're going to be talking about that in a moment. But first, let's get to some weather in our area because we did have some severe thunderstorms over parts of the area today. For us, we just had showers, but you could see it looks like there were a number of severe thunderstorms warnings posted. There was some for Connecticut, and now some looks like for the Cape and coastal Massachusetts. So yeah, if we go ahead and take a closer look at that, you'll see. Wow, looks like quite a line there moved through there. Providence, Rhode Island, into coastal Massachusetts, going to the Cape. That looks like a pretty substantial line of storms right there. Um, and we're going to see they're probably going to be causing some damage, perhaps. I don't have any damage reports for you, but um, we can take a look at some of the observations here, and you'll see some wind gusts here. Oh, look at this buoy. This buoy here got a wind gust of 65 miles an hour. Oh, wow. So, oh, look at this site here, Provincetown Municipal Airport. Wind gust to 63 miles an hour. West at 35, gusting to 63. Those are some pretty strong and damaging winds, and that's probably with the line of thunderstorms. That's probably why they have the warnings out for these storms, because it looks like high winds are probably the main threat with them. We can go ahead and look at the lightning. Um, and let me do that. We'll put the lightning on here, and we'll get that lightning on here, and we'll see if there's any lightning. Oh yeah, there is a little lightning with these. Not they aren't huge lightning producers, but they're producing some lightning. Some lightning. Main threat seems to be the strong winds, and I'm actually going to want to go back to the weather service here at Boston. Let's do that. If we can do that, if it provides a link back to the, it doesn't really provide a link back to that weather service, unfortunately. So I'll have to go this way, and we can look at their Twitter because it looks like that area is just getting hammered right now. Looks like we already have some storm reports, so we might as well go through them right now. Non-thunderstorm wind damage and foul mouth, large tree down. Uh, Tree lands on an occupied car in Providence, Rhode Island. Thunderstorm wind damage in Franklin, Massachusetts. Branches down with power outages. Thunderstorm wind damage in Worthington, in Hampshire, Massachusetts. Trees and wires down near Route 19 in Worthington. Thayer Hill Road, trees down on wires. So there's quite a few storm reports here in this area. 24 Old Main Road, trees and wires down in Hampshire. So looks like there's a lot of trees and wires down. Thunderstorm wind damage in Franklin, Massachusetts. Let's see if we have any wind gusts here reported. Um, Thunderstorm wind damage, and I know this is a little outside of our area here. They also had hail with these storms. Also, 0.75 inch in Hampshire, Massachusetts, in West Hampton. I guess Hampshire is a county. Um, So, wow, thunderstorm wind damage, trees down. Multiple reports of trees down in Hampton, Massachusetts. That's 1 mile southeast of Southwick. It's Hampton County. So I'm not familiar with Massachusetts, so if I make mistakes, forgive me. But a lot of damage from these storms, a lot of wind damage. Fortunately, we avoided that severe threat. Been so focused on the hurricane, we also have the severe weather going on, too. So we're going to go look at the power outage situation right over there right now, actually. Let's go ahead and look at that. Um, oh, look at this. Wow. There's also been damage in New York, too, from these storms. So it looks like New York has 225,000 1916 power outages. Massachusetts has 212,573 without power. Rhode Island, 31,513. Connecticut, 24,166, and Pennsylvania 11,400. So these storms caused a lot of damage. So we'll start with New York. Now here we didn't really see too much here on Long Island, but it looks like Upstate, Rensselaer, Albany, the capital region got slammed. There's a lot of problems up here. So wow, that is bad. That is really bad. Okay, so I was not expecting that. I wasn't expecting severe weather today. The other hard-hit county is Massachusetts. Other hard-hit state is Massachusetts. Looks like the western part of the state has the most outages, but these numbers are going to go up along the coast with this line that's moving through right now. Again, there was a 63-mile-an-hour wind gust in Provincetown, so which is at the tip of the Cape, which is Pretty impressive. Um, okay, so we can also look at Rhode Island. Well, they're in the yellow, so I'm only looking at the red states right now. I'm going to go back and I'm going to see if we can get some storm reports from upstate as well. Um, that would be the Albany office. Let's see. They don't really have any. Let's see. They have any storm reports links. They don't have any links to storm reports. Okay, this is a map of the wind gusts here. Uh, Here for New York. Here from Twitter. Uh, so it's a map. Yeah, they don't really have a whole lot on here. Um, you don't seem to have a whole lot, but there was a 62-mile-an-hour wind gust at Albany, according to this. So that is pretty impressive. I'm sure there's lots of trees on wires and storm damage up there too as well. Uh, Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive event. Was not expecting that. And then we have this. Then we have Hurricane Delta. So, and Hurricane Delta went over the Yucatan and it weakened substantially. I guess the Yucatan's a little more mountainous than they thought. I'm not too familiar with the Yucatan, but if there was some hills or mountains over there, that would have helped to weaken it. But it's going back over the water again, and it's going to strengthen. So Delta is expected to re-strengthen overnight and Thursday. It's the latest advisory from the National Hurricane Center, while moving over the southern and central portion of the Gulf of Mexico. Life-threatening storm surge and damaging winds increasingly likely along portions of the northern Gulf Coast beginning on Friday. So as of 4 p.m., it's located at 22.1 north, 89.5 west, about 55 miles north-northeast of Progreso, Mexico, and about 580 miles south-southeast of Cameron, Louisiana. Maximum sustained winds are 85 miles an hour, moving northwest at 17 miles an hour. Minimum central pressure 977 millibars, or 28.85 inches. So what's the latest statistics on it? And the hurricane force winds extend outward up to 35 miles to the center. Tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 125 miles from the center. Let's go to the map. Let's see if anything's changed on the warning code. They do have it becoming a major hurricane again, and there are already hurricane watches in effect for the coast of Louisiana, the entire coast of Louisiana, with tropical storm watches on the fringes. But once this thing gets back out over the water again, it is going to strengthen, and it's going to strengthen big time. We are going to now go to some of the, again, this is the satellite image. You can see it's really, the convection is really starting to peak up again, and you can see it's got that classic tropical storm look. Let's go to the back. We'll hit the back button here, and we'll go ahead and we will look at the models again and see where it looks like they're trending a little further west now of New Orleans. They seem to be trending a little more west now of New Orleans. It would be horrible if it went for the same area that that hurricane that hit Sally that hit over here. I think it was Sally. I can't remember all the names. I'm sorry, it's too much going on. But there was a very bad hurricane in East Texas and Louisiana, as we know, right around this area. I think it was Sally. This could happen again. This track it could be the same track. We'll have to see, or if it goes further to the east. Right now, it's further to the east. New Orleans still has to watch out, all right, because New Orleans is right over here, so still close enough to New Orleans. So this is the track model guidance again. Again, it's just do not use this map to make decisions. As a reminder, it's just basically predictions by the models of where the center of the storm will go. And let's look at the intensity here. You see the models, they bring it back up again. They bring it back up to a Cat 3, maybe even a Cat 4. And, a Cat 5 is still not out of the question, because we saw how it underestimated. When this thing strengthened, it strengthened way more than the models thought it was going to strengthen. So I guess we will go looking at the models right now, and we will take a look at the south central view here as this thing emerges out over the water again. And this is the GFS here. And you will see, again, this thing is going to deepen rapidly. And yet it's tracking a little further west now. GFS puts it right on the border again. Right around that same area that was hit. So that's horrible. So the track could change. This thing could keep shifting west and wind up making a direct hit on Houston too. It's very possible. Like I said, the whole Gulf Coast needs to be aware of this thing, at least from this portion on westward, at least from the Mississippi-Louisiana border on westward, because and again, this would be a landfall Friday night in this area. The only good news is that it is moving at a fairly good rate, but that is what the GFS has as far as the track goes. And we will go ahead and we will look at the wind intensity here on this as well, so you get an idea of the wind intensity. And yeah, it's pretty substantial. That's every bit of a Category 3, maybe even a Category 4 right there, making a landfall right there. We will go ahead and look at the NAM 12 kilometer as well next. I mean, these people on the Gulf Coast, man, I feel so sorry for them going through this one storm after another. That could have easily been us if things were set up a different way. The Gulf, though, is a very hot. The Gulf is like a bathtub, so it's really the perfect breeding ground for such storms, though. More so than the Atlantic. This is the NAM, not quite as strong as the GFS. Track is similar, though. They seem to agree on this track, but again, things can change. You can see it's got a little wobble in there, and the timing is NAM's a little faster, brings it in around Friday afternoon. The NAM might be a little too fast. Those are the two main models I wanted to look at here in regards to this storm here. And we'll have, as it gets closer, we'll have much more information tomorrow night. As we'll get a really final pinpoint as to how, because this thing still is going to strengthen. The question is how much. And right now we know it's going to strengthen, but we have to, once it starts strengthening, we have to see, and then by tomorrow we'll know what the rate of strengthening, and we'll have a better idea of how strong it's going to be when it gets to us. So I mean, when it gets to the United States, when it gets to Louisiana. Anyway, let me go to the upper air. So we'll go ahead and look at that. So we can look at the upper air. So you can see this ridge. There's the trough sliding in, bringing cold front through tonight. And then today was mild. It was in the mid-70s, kind of breezy, but it'll cool off. You can see the signature there on the upper air of Hurricane Delta. And then we start seeing the ridge, and then we get the remnants of Delta. We don't know if we're going to see the remnants. This kind of dissipates the remnants, and if you look at the upper air, it keeps it to the south. At least that's what the upper air would include, but I don't know. We may see some of the remnants of it. And then another deep trough comes in later next week, and a really deep trough by next weekend. That is very deep, and that would bring some substantially cold air into our area. So let's go ahead and look at the European. Pretty much the similar idea here. The trough's a little different, though. The European's slower to move the trough in, and still has the ridge over us by next weekend. So there's disagreement in the long-range timing. But we got enough to deal with in the short range, so I'm not going to really focus too much on the long range. Let's go look at the surface. So here are the remnants of, here's Delta, Hurricane Delta, and we'll see what happens with the remnants. So, no, it does bring the remnants. That's why I mean the upper air, it's kind of hard to see that there's kind of a ridge here, but the flow would take the moisture up into our area, and we would see possibly the rains on Monday. And then we get rid of that rain by later in the week. And then there's that deep trough, which may actually bring some snow showers maybe to parts of New York. And that looks like that would bring a substantially cold shot of air too. We'll look at the temperatures too, so you get an idea. You can see the ridge on the west there. So if we go ahead and we look at the long, you'll see that really cold shot of air come in there. Look at that. Highs maybe only in the 50s, maybe only in the 40s on those days. But that's over a week away, and not really going to focus too much on that in this weather update. So we'll just go over the weather for the next couple of days here into the weekend. So you'll see highs were in the 70s today. We drop back by morning. We're in the 40s. We get up into the mid-60s tomorrow. It's going to be breezy. And for Friday, in the mid-60s, maybe upper 60s in New Jersey. And then we warm up on the weekend. Temperatures well into the 70s, so it'll be warm. And then we have the rains on Monday. We're going to go ahead and look at the dew point too. So here is the dew point. Dew points drop tomorrow into the 30s. We see those low dew points, and then the weekend they come back up a little bit there, right? We'll go to the skies now. There's more I want to look at with Delta, so I want to just get through this. So here's the skies tomorrow. Looks like it should be a mostly clear day. Just a little windy. Here's Friday. It looks like another mostly clear day. Then the clouds roll in. Hey, we may be able to beat the clouds back on Saturday and have a sunny day over Long Island before the clouds finally roll back in once again. We'll also look at the NAM cloud cover model as well. So here's the NAM. So again, mostly clear across the entire area, it looks like. So we should have a mostly sunny day. Friday, then it seems like the NAM wants to generate some more clouds over us. Might be overdone, it might not. But anyway, let's get back to a Delta right now. We're going to look at the windy.com site. And oh, what are we doing? All right. So here's Delta. This is the European now that we're looking at. All right. So let me put this up to wind gusts here. So this is the European. It's going to strengthen again, and we're going to move this along here so you get an idea of where it goes. So this is right now. Let's take a look at what this thing looks like by 1 p.m. tomorrow. You can see it's already going to strengthen quite a bit. This is the European. Max sustained winds will probably be back over 100 miles an hour. And as we get into the evening, it's going to continue to strengthen. And look at that. It just continues to get stronger. Look at that big yellow area. Like I said, this thing is going to regain all the strength it lost. And right now, do not tell me. This thing, yeah, this is the European. It looks like it has it making almost a New Orleans avoids the worst of it, and it poor Lake Charles again. This is the area that got hit with the other hurricane. This is unbelievable. So the same area might wind up getting hit. And look at these winds at landfall. I mean, this is going to be insane. This is going to be insane if this is the track it takes. So this is the European model. And, again, the track could be off. It all depends when it makes that turn. New Orleans is not out of the woods by a long shot. I will go ahead and look at the GFS, see if the GFS handles this thing. We can get it to load. All right, there's the GFS. So, similar thing. Pretty much GFS and Euro. Oh, no, that's the GFS. Boy, it took a while. GFS is a little too weak, I think. No. The GFS doesn't have a handle on it. It's going to strengthen again. Let me go up to the... seems like we're having a problem here loading the GFS. Yeah, I don't think the GFS is going to be... GFS is too weak. It's underestimating. Sometimes the GFS does a good job, and then sometimes it doesn't. In this case, I think the Euro will be the more accurate. And, of course, then we have the waves that this thing is going to generate. So you're going to be dealing with 30 to 32-foot waves and a huge storm surge. And we'll have to see what happens. If it takes this track over here, this Beaumont, Texas, Lake Charles area that was hammered by the other storm, those areas are just going to, I don't think they're ever going to come back. But it could wind up still affecting New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and it could wind up moving west, too, toward Houston. So this all bears watching again. Hurricane Delta, a major hurricane, and a major hurricane threat once again for the Gulf Coast. And I'll keep you posted on it, and we'll see where this storm is tomorrow night. Have a great night, and thanks for watching.